The stars over Earth shone calmly as they had for centuries. Cities gleamed with silver towers, and colonies on distant planets thrived under human care. Humanity had spread across the galaxy, peaceful and proud, yet aware of the fragile balance that had lasted for 3,000 years. The Armistice with the alien coalition, a pact made so long ago that it had become legend, kept the galaxy quiet. For humans, it was a quiet peace, a time to grow, learn, and build. But peace, as history showed, could be fragile. On the day the warning arrived, the Solar Council convened in the Grand Hall of Earth's capital. The room was vast, lined with holographic displays of distant star systems and alien fleets. Delegates from dozens of human colonies sat in quiet anticipation. The council had dealt with threats before, but none as chilling as what they were about to hear. Then the alien envoys appeared. They shimmered with forms humans could barely comprehend, tall, armored, and moving with an unnatural grace. Their voices were calm but cold, echoing through the hall in a strange harmonic tone. One of them spoke, and the meaning was clear even through translation. The armistice of 3,000 years is void. Your species will face war. Prepare for extinction. A murmur rippled through the council chamber. Some humans looked shocked, some angry, but none panicked. The leaders of Earth exchanged subtle glances, a quiet understanding passing between them. Humanity had always expected challenges, but even now their reaction was not fear. It was strategy. Captain Elena Voss stood at the edge of the hall, her hands resting lightly on the console in front of her. She was not a politician, but a warrior, one of the best humanity had ever trained. Her eyes were calm, scanning the alien fleet's signatures on the display. There was something familiar about the way they moved, yet something they did not know. Something the humans had prepared for centuries. As the aliens finished their declaration, the envoys paused. Their calm voices carried a threat, but in their confidence lay a mistake. They underestimated the humans who stood silently before them. When the aliens departed, the council erupted into discussion, voices overlapping in concern. Yet Captain Voss walked to the center of the hall, her presence commanding attention. "Listen," she said firmly, her voice cutting through the noise. "They think we are afraid. They think we are weak. That is exactly what we need them to believe. But we are ready. We have been ready for centuries." She pointed at the star maps projected above. "Our fleets are in position. Our colonies are prepared. Every station, every outpost has been upgraded without their knowledge. Every weapon tested and perfected. They do not know what waits for them." A young council member, still trembling, asked, "But their fleet is massive. Can we really fight them?" Captain Voss smiled, but it was not a warm smile. It was sharp, cold, and certain. "We can and we will. They see numbers, but we see strategy. They see weapons, but we see weakness. They assume time is on their side. They are wrong." Back on the outer colonies, ordinary humans went about their daily lives. Children played in the streets of Mars' new cities. Scientists worked in laboratories. Unaware of the first whispers of war, farmers harvested crops under domes on Titan. Yet everywhere, hidden signals passed quietly between stations, preparing for what was coming. Humanity's strength was not only in its ships and weapons, it was in its people. Calm, resourceful, and always ready to adapt. In orbit around Jupiter, sensors picked up unusual energy signatures near the moons. They flickered like silent warnings, a pattern that humans understood immediately. Something had been hidden there, something the aliens would not see until it was too late. As night fell on Earth, Captain Voss stood on the balcony of her command center, gazing at the stars. The alien threat was real. The war was coming. Yet she did not feel fear. She felt clarity. Humanity had survived famine, plague, and war. Humanity had faced stronger enemies before, and humanity had always prevailed. Across the galaxy, alien scouts moved into position, unaware that every move they made had already been studied, anticipated, and countered by human intelligence. Every fleet, every colony, every hidden base would play its part in the coming battle. And yet no one panicked. Humans continued their work, their art, their lives. For centuries they had prepared not for peace alone, but for the challenge of proving themselves. Now that moment had arrived. Captain Voss returned to her command console. Her fingers traced the controls lightly, bringing up the fleet formations. She allowed herself a small smile, a cold, precise smile. The aliens had declared war, expecting fear. Instead, they would find patience, cunning, and determination. The stars had always watched humanity grow, and now, as the warning echoed across the galaxy, humanity would show them why they were never to be underestimated. The Armistice had ended. The war was coming, and humanity was ready. The alien fleets moved silently through space, their ships like dark shadows against the stars. Thousands of vessels glimmered with energy weapons, engines burning faintly as they approached the outer colonies. They were confident, precise, and certain of victory. In their calculations, humans were clever but predictable. They did not know what waited for them. On Mars, Captain Elena Vos stood on the bridge of the flagship Resolute. Her crew moved quickly but calmly, following her every command. The stars outside the viewports reflected off her determined eyes. She had studied the alien patterns for decades, analyzing every maneuver, every habit, every weakness. And now the moment had come. "Captain," said Lieutenant Rami, her communications officer, "enemy scouts detected near Europa. They are reporting our fleet positions. They do not know we are already in formation." Voss nodded. "Good, keep monitoring. Wait for my signal. Remember, they are strong, but they are slow to adapt. We will make them pay for every overconfident move." The alien fleet initiated the attack. Energy beams streaked across space, cutting through the vacuum with deadly precision. Outer colonies braced for impact, deploying their defenses. At first, it seemed the humans were on the back foot. Alarm lights flashed, shields flared, and civilian stations prepared for evacuation. Then the trap was sprung. Hidden human ships emerged from the shadow of Jupiter's moons, invisible to alien sensors. They struck suddenly, targeting the alien command ships with weapons designed to exploit alien weaknesses. The first explosions lit up the void like miniature supernovas. Alien formations broke apart in confusion. From the flagship, Voss watched with satisfaction. "All units, focus fire on their lead vessels. Use energy disruptors in combination with missile pods. Keep the smaller ships for flanking. Move fast, strike hard." Human ships moved like lightning, weaving between alien attacks. Every strike was calculated, every maneuver precise. The aliens were strong, but they were rigid. Humans were flexible. They adapted instantly, turning the aliens' numbers against them. In one daring move, a squadron of human fighters flew close to the largest alien battleship. Using electromagnetic pulses, they disabled its engines for crucial seconds. That short window allowed a fleet of cruisers to strike the ship's energy core, leaving it adrift. Meanwhile, on a remote colony of Titan, civilian engineers were part of the battle. They had been trained for this, converting mining equipment into weaponized drones. These drones harassed alien scouts, cutting their communications and supply lines. The aliens, who expected easy conquest, were caught by surprise. In the heat of the battle, Captain Voss received a message from an alien commander. It was arrogant, almost mocking. "You cannot hide forever. Surrender and we may spare your worlds." Voss smiled coldly. She activated a private comm. "Show them our reality," she said. Within seconds, a series of human maneuvers encircled the alien fleet. The message returned in fragments, the alien systems unable to cope with the unexpected strategies. The human fleet pressed the advantage. Smaller squadrons attacked from angles the ally, as had never imagined. Defensive shields on human ships were layered and mobile, bouncing alien energy beams harmlessly into space. It was not just strength. Human cunning was on full display. As the battle raged, Voss reflected on the difference between humans and their enemies. Aliens were predictable, confident in their patterns. Humans were adaptive, creative, and relentless. The alien fleet might have been larger, but humans had the advantage of surprise, ingenuity, and unity. By the time the first wave ended, the alien fleet had suffered significant losses. Ships that had once seemed unstoppable now floated helplessly. Their energy cores ruptured, their crews incapacitated. The remaining vessels retreated, confused and wary. They had underestimated the humans' will and intelligence. Back on the bridge of the Resolute, Voss allowed herself a brief, cold smile. "Phase 1 complete," she said. "They came thinking us weak. They learned their first lesson. And this is only the beginning." Across the colonies, humans celebrated quietly, not with arrogance but with a deep satisfaction in their abilities. The people of Mars, Titan, and the asteroid belt had stood together, civilians and soldiers alike, and struck a blow against a far stronger enemy. Humanity had survived the first attack, and in doing so, they had reminded the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. In orbit around Europa, alien commanders regrouped, their pride wounded, their assumptions shattered. They realized that humans were not the predictable species they had assumed. They had faced many enemies in the past, but never one that combined intelligence, creativity, and resilience like humanity. As the first battle faded into history, Captain Voss looked at the stars once more. The war had begun, but humanity had already proven its strength. Patience, planning, and courage had turned a potential defeat into a stunning victory. The aliens would return, of course. They were persistent and vengeful. But humans would be ready, and humans would smile coldly when they did. The galaxy was no longer quiet. The first clash had ended, but its impact rippled across space. Alien commanders convened in orbit around a shattered asteroid, furious at the unexpected losses. Their arrogance had been shattered, and now they were forced to reconsider what humans were capable of. Meanwhile, humanity moved with quiet confidence. Captain Elena Voss and her fleet were already repairing damage, replenishing supplies, and analyzing the data from the first encounter. Every human ship, every colony, every civilian station had a role to play. Humans were not just strong, they were prepared. In the lab of Mars's Central Research Hub, Dr. Leon Wu studied alien technology captured during the battle. She had dedicated her life to understanding alien systems, predicting their behavior, and finding ways to turn their strengths against them. As energy readings from the alien ships scrolled across her console, she smiled. "They are fast, yes," she murmured, "but too rigid. Every pattern can be predicted. Every weapon can be countered." Her assistant, a young engineer named Marco, looked worried. "But they are powerful. What if we make a mistake?" Dr. Wu shook her head. "Humans do not rely on raw power alone. We adapt, we think. We surprise. That is what they will never understand." On the front lines, Captain Voss prepared her next move. The alien fleet was regrouping, sending scouts and raiding parties to test human defenses. Yet every probe was met with an unexpected response. Human ships used decoys, electronic interference, and cleverly timed attacks to confuse and weaken the enemy. What appeared simple, human unpredictability, was actually centuries of careful preparation and planning. Even ordinary humans on distant colonies contributed. Farmers on Titan converted mining drones into patrol units. Scientists on Ganymede hacked alien sensors to misdirect their fleet. Children trained in virtual simulations were already learning basic strategy, unknowingly preparing for real-life encounters. Every human was part of the defense, and every action mattered. As the aliens struggled to understand their opponent, Captain Voss called a meeting of her senior officers aboard the Resolute. "They assume we are weak," she said, pointing at the holographic display of alien movements. "They think their size and firepower will crush us. But we do not fight like them. We are adaptable. We are clever, and we have allies in places they will never expect." Lieutenant Rami nodded. "The outer colonies are ready. Hidden bases are prepared to launch ambushes." Voss's eyes narrowed. "Good, but we cannot just defend. We must make them question every move. Let them doubt themselves. That is when we strike." The next skirmish came swiftly. Alien raiders attacked a mining colony near Saturn. The humans appeared to be caught off guard, retreating to defensive positions. Yet as the aliens advanced, hidden human squads emerged from asteroid shadows. Energy nets immobilized the raiders' ships, and concentrated fire struck at their weak points. Within minutes, the invaders were neutralized, their confidence shattered. On the flagship bridge, Voss observed it all. "Every encounter teaches us something," she said quietly. "Every failure they expect is actually a lesson we already learned. They will underestimate us again and again, and each time, they will lose more." Back in the lab, Dr. Wu continued her work. Using alien weapon fragments, she created adaptive defense systems. These systems could analyze incoming attacks and instantly adjust shields and weapons. The aliens' most powerful lasers were no longer a threat. They were neutralized before they could hit. Humanity's secret was not just in their technology, but in the way they combined knowledge, creativity, and courage. By the time the alien high command realized the humans' abilities, it was too late. Every strategy they tried was met with an unexpected counter. Every assumption about human weakness was proven wrong. They had entered this war thinking of humans as a simple species, one that could be defeated by sheer power. But humans were far more than that. They were adaptable, resourceful, and united. In a quiet moment, Captain Voss stood on the observation deck of the Resolute, looking at the stars. "They will come at us with everything they have," she said. and we will be ready. They do not understand humans. They do not understand how we survive, how we fight, how we win. Her first officer, Commander Jaren, glanced at her. Do you think they will ever stop? Voss's lips curved into a small, cold smile. No, and that is fine. Every challenge makes us stronger. Every battle teaches us more. And in the end, they will learn what humans have always known. Strength is not just in weapons. Strength is in intelligence, courage, and the will to survive. As the alien fleets moved in closer, the humans prepared in silence. Hidden fleets waited, colonies reinforced defenses, and civilians continued their work. Humanity's true power was not just in its ships or weapons, it was in its people, and the aliens had no idea what was coming next. The galaxy had entered a new phase. Humans were no longer a species to be underestimated. They were a force of ingenuity and resolve, ready to face any enemy and overcome any challenge. Captain Voss looked at the distant stars, her eyes cold and certain. Humanity would not just survive this war, they would dominate it. The aliens had declared war. Humans had already begun winning it. The alien fleets had grown cautious. After repeated defeats, they no longer attacked boldly. Instead, they moved carefully, probing human defenses, testing their patience. But patience was exactly what humanity had trained for. Every colony, every fleet, every ship was ready. Captain Elena Voss studied the alien movements from the bridge of the Resolute. The holographic display showed hundreds of enemy vessels approaching the asteroid belts near Saturn. Most commanders would have panicked. Not Voss. She saw opportunity in the aliens' caution, weakness in their fear. Phase 2 begins, she said. Her voice was calm, steady, and full of authority. They think they are clever. Let's show them how clever humans can be. Hidden among the asteroids, human fleets waited. Automated defense drones disguised as floating rocks monitored alien movements. When the enemy entered the trap, human ships emerged from shadows, striking from multiple angles. Alien lasers met empty space as decoys led them astray. Missile pods fired in precise sequences, hitting the fleet's weakest points. Within minutes, the aliens were disoriented and vulnerable. Meanwhile, Captain Voss led a daring mission herself. In a sleek, heavily armed strike cruiser, she moved deep into enemy territory. Her target, the alien command ship controlling the fleet's communication network. If she succeeded, the alien forces would be blind, uncoordinated, and easy to destroy. As she approached, Voss's team deployed stealth drones. They disabled shields on the command ship temporarily, allowing Voss to strike at its energy core. The alien vessel shuddered as in turn. All systems failed. The command network went dark. Confusion rippled through the fleet. Ships fired at empty space, collided with each other, and retreated in disorder. Back in human-controlled space, ordinary humans continued their silent war. Scientists remotely hacked alien navigation systems, sending raiders into asteroid fields. Engineers on mining colonies converted heavy machinery into automated attack units. Farmers and laborers became scouts, defenders, and messengers. Every human contributed. Every human mattered. The aliens were stunned. Every plan they made failed. Every attack was countered. They began to realize something unsettling. Humans were not just adaptive, they were united. The aliens' greatest weapon, power, and intimidation, was useless against humans' intelligence, creativity, and teamwork. On the bridge of the Resolute, Captain Voss smiled coldly. They think numbers win wars, she said. We will show them that strategy, courage, and unity win wars. In the outer colonies, hidden contingencies appeared. Fleets thought lost generations ago arrived from distant star systems. They struck at the aliens' rear lines, cutting supply routes and reinforcing human positions. The aliens had believed these fleets destroyed or inactive. They had underestimated humanity's foresight. The battle raged for hours, but humans remained disciplined. Every ship moved according to plan. Every colony knew its role. Alien forces, despite their size, could not adapt quickly enough. Their fear grew, turning into desperation. Captain Voss led her strike team back to human space. The alien command ship was disabled, their fleet scattered. But Voss knew this was not the end. The aliens were cunning, relentless, and vengeful. They would return, stronger and more determined. Yet humanity was ready. Each encounter taught them more. Each victory strengthened their resolve. The war had begun with alien confidence, but humans had turned it into a test of wits, courage, and perseverance. Later, in a quiet moment, Voss addressed her officers. They expected us to defend. Instead, we attacked. They expected fear. Instead, we acted with patience and cunning. This is what humans do best. We survive, we adapt, and we fight with everything we have. Her first officer, Commander Jaren, looked at her with admiration. Captain, do you think they will ever truly understand us? Voss's lips curved into a cold, certain smile. No, and that is their greatest mistake. They cannot predict humans because humans are never predictable. Every choice we make, every plan we prepare is part of a greater strategy. They will keep underestimating us and we will keep winning. Across the galaxy, humans celebrated quietly. Not with loud triumph, but with satisfaction in their skills and their unity. The colonies rebuilt, ships were repaired, and lessons from the battles were studied. Every human knew their place in the larger fight. Every human felt the pride of being part of a species capable of facing an ancient, powerful enemy, and winning. As night fell on Earth, Voss looked out at the stars once more. The alien fleets were regrouping, preparing for the next phase. But humans had already planned for it. They had hidden fleets, adaptive weapons, and most importantly, unbreakable resolve. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Humans were clever, resourceful, and united. They could not be predicted, they could not be defeated easily, and they would not surrender. Captain Voss allowed herself one final cold smile. The aliens thought they were coming to conquer humanity. Instead, they were walking into the greatest resistance the galaxy had ever seen, and humanity was ready for everything that followed. The alien fleets had returned, larger and more determined than ever. They had learned from their earlier mistakes, or so they believed. Their commanders were confident that this time, humanity would fall. But humans had already prepared. Every colony, every fleet, every hidden station had been reinforced. Every human was ready. Captain Elena Voss stood on the bridge of the flagship Resolute, watching the alien armada appear in the distance. Thousands of vessels bristling with energy weapons stretched across the void of space. It would have been terrifying to any other species. But not to humans. Not to her. They think sheer force will win, she said quietly. They will learn too late that humans fight differently. Every one of them will regret underestimating us. Her officers nodded, their faces serious but resolute. The human fleet moved like a living organism, coordinating attacks with precision, communication flowing faster than the enemy could anticipate. Drones from hidden colonies created decoys, leading alien ships into traps. Asteroids were redirected to block paths, forcing the aliens into narrow channels where human firepower could strike efficiently. As the battle began, Captain Voss led the Resolute into the heart of the alien formation. Her mission was clear: disrupt their command network and take control of the battlefield. Her strike team moved through the chaos with unmatched skill, disabling shields and targeting key vessels. Alien ships fell one by one, their firepower neutralized before it could reach human positions. On Titan, civilians contributed once more. Engineers remotely controlled automated turrets, farmers piloted small craft to intercept alien scouts, and scientists disrupted enemy sensors. The aliens, despite their power, could not predict the creativity and determination of humanity. Every move they made was anticipated, every plan countered. The turning point came when Voss's strike team reached the alien flagship. Using stealth technology and rapid maneuvers, they infiltrated the vessel's defense systems. Within moments, the command network went dark. Alien fleets lost coordination, their formations collapsing into chaos. Vessels collided, energy beams misfired, and panic rippled through the enemy ranks. Meanwhile, human reinforcements, long thought lost, emerged from the outer sectors. These fleets attacked the alien rear lines, striking at supply ships and weapon caches. The alien commanders realized, too late, that they were trapped on all sides. Their advantage of size and firepower had been neutralized by human intelligence, planning, and unity. Captain Voss addressed her fleet through the universal comm. This is the moment we have prepared for. They assumed fear, hesitation, and surrender. But we are humans. We adapt, we fight, and we will not be defeated. Strike together, strike precisely, and show them the strength of humanity. The fleet responded with unwavering precision. Alien vessels were disabled, captured, or forced to retreat. Every colony played its part, every human contributing to the victory. The aliens' confidence shattered as they realized the truth. Humans were not to be underestimated. At the heart of the battlefield, Voss watched as the last of the alien command ships faltered. The armada broke, retreating into deep space. Humanity had won not with brute force alone, but with strategy, courage, and determination. In the aftermath, Captain Voss stood on the observation deck of the Resolute, looking at the remnants of the alien fleet. Her lips curved into a small, cold smile. The galaxy had witnessed humanity's true strength: intelligence, adaptability, and unity. These were the weapons no alien fleet could match. Back on Earth, the citizens celebrated quietly. Not with loud fanfare, but with a deep sense of pride and relief. Humanity had faced a powerful enemy and emerged victorious. Colonies sent messages of congratulations, engineers repaired ships, and scientists studied alien technology for future preparedness. Commander Jaren approached Voss. "Captain, do you think they will return?" he asked. Voss's cold smile remained. "Yes, and when they do, we will be ready. We have proven today that humans are never to be underestimated. We survive, we adapt, and we fight with everything we have. That is who we are." The galaxy had changed. Aliens and civilizations everywhere now knew that humanity was a force unlike any other. They were not just survivors, they were innovators, strategists, and warriors. Humans could overcome any challenge, outthink any enemy, and unite when it mattered most. As night fell over Earth and the colonies, Voss looked at the stars, calm and resolute. Humanity had faced annihilation and smiled in the face of danger. Their victory was not just in defeating the aliens, but in proving what humans had always known. Strength is not only in weapons or numbers, but in intelligence, courage, and unbreakable will. The Armistice had ended. The aliens had declared war, and humanity, cool, clever, and unyielding, had won. A cold smile spread across Captain Voss's face. The galaxy would remember this moment, and one truth above all: never underestimate humanity.